All right, guys. Where the hell is Kamala Harris? Where is Kamala? That's the question of the day, okay? Because we have a vice president that has been missing in action in the midst of this Afghanistan debacle that has happened under the Biden-Harris administration, right? Biden-Harris administration. Something that they cannot run away from as much as they would love to. They can't, okay? They can't. So, when this first happened, guys, Biden didn't come out saying anything for 4, 5, 6 days, okay? And we really have not heard anything from Kamala, right? Kamala is just completely off the map, right? Apparently, she's going to Asia to try to, ensure our Asian partners that, we can stand up to China and that their sea lanes are going to be open, blah, 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 apparently, right? But hey, I don't know, man. I wouldn't trust Kamala with that type of assignment, okay? And although she has been missing in action, she cannot run away from this Afghanistan debacle because we have the receipts of her basically supporting this decision. Take a look.
President Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision, Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do. And I'm going to add to that. This is a president who has an extraordinary amount of courage. He is someone who I have seen over and over again make decisions based on what he truly believes, based on his years of doing this work and studying these issues, what he truly believes is the right thing to do. And I'm going to tell you something about him. He is acutely aware that it may not be politically popular or advantageous for him personally. It's really something to see. And I wish that the American public could see sometimes what I see. Because ultimately, and the decision always rests with him, but I have seen him over and over again make decisions based exactly on what he believes is right, regardless of what maybe the political people tell him is in his best selfish interest.
So in that interview, guys, it sounded like that, she didn't necessarily push back against Biden, right? She seemed like she was sure of the decision, right? She had no questions about the withdrawal plan. She had no questions about taking out our military before we take out the American people. She didn't have any questions about the intelligence, okay? Whether or not the Taliban would actually overrun the Afghan army, right? Was the Afghan army even prepared to fight them, okay? Didn't have any questions about anything, right? She was the last person in the room. You know what that means? That means she helped Biden make the final decision, which means that she owns this, right? She owns it. So Kamala can run, but she cannot hide from her role in this Afghanistan debacle. That's why I'm making this video, because I will not let her run away from this, okay? Everybody's going to get the smoke, okay? They're all going to get the smoke, right? But you know what, though? I don't blame Kamala, because Biden has basically given her all the assignments that she can't win on. And word in the right-wing / conservative rumor mill is that Kamala wanted no part of this, right? She wanted no part of this L this time. Now, I got to tell you guys, I don't know if this is true, right? I don't know if it's true. It's probably not, okay? But I can imagine that, again, based off what we've seen before in regards to how Biden gives Kamala all the bad assignments, it could be, right? It could be one of those things, as Kyle Becker and Jack Posobiec are saying that Kamala told, Biden or officials inside the White House that you will not pin this ish on me, right? As she refuses to face the American people as Afghanistan collapsed. Now, as much as, this seems to explain why we have not seen Kamala, again, I got to tell you that, hey, I don't know if this is true. I just find it hilarious to think about. But, listen, I will say this. Regardless of whether or not this exact wording is true, I have no doubt in my mind that inside that White House, when this was happening, right, when they were panicking, I guarantee you, I guarantee you, there was probably some back and forth about what Kamala's front-facing role would be. And I'm pretty sure Kamala's like, nah, I'm not going to take this one. Okay? Because like I said, Biden has given Kamala all the L's, right? Biden has put Kamala out front on everything that he knows he can't win on. So why would he not do that in regards to Afghanistan? He did that for the border. He did that for the For the People Act. He does that literally on everything that he know he can't win on, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if a conversation like this kind of went down and Kamala's like, nah, I'm not having any part of it. But the American people are not fooled, right? As Kamala is tanking in the polls, right? So it seems like the American people are blaming Kamala for this, as they should. Because again, you know, she said she was the last person in the room. So she has to take some ownership. So let's read here. Americans have further soured on Vice President Kamala Harris as she continued her radio silence on the chaotic and tragic withdrawal of U.S. forces from Afghanistan, a new poll indicates. According to a Rasmussen Reports survey released Thursday, 55% of likely voters say the former senator from California is either not qualified or not at all qualified to assume the duties of the presidency. By contrast, 43% consider Harris qualified or very qualified to be commander-in-chief. So literally, a majority of the country, right, if you believe this poll, believes that Kamala is not qualified to be president. Bruh, I mean, this shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, her own party did not think she was qualified to be president, okay? This Afghanistan thing only made it worse, right? It only made it worse. The same poll found in April that 49% of likely voters said Harris was qualified to become president, though 41% of voters had an unfavorable impression of her. The poll was taken between August 12th and August 15th as the Taliban embarked on a sweeping offensive across Afghanistan that led to the collapse of that country's Western-backed government weeks before the decline to remove U.S. combat forces. Harris has not held a public event since last week when she cut short a meeting with CEOs to discuss the Biden administration's healthcare proposals in order to receive an intelligence briefing about Afghanistan. Since then, she has taken part in at least 4 briefings with President Biden and his national security team, but has confined her public statements about Afghanistan to Twitter and did not appear at Biden's side when he attempted to defend the withdrawal of the remarks from the White House East Room Monday. Okay, so yeah, her not being there by his side, right? Because remember, when Biden first got in the White House, it was almost like Kamala was in an apprenticeship role, right? In which Kamala basically tried to make sure that her and Biden were inseparable, right? In the sense that everything Biden did she was a part of it. She was a part of that decision, right? So she was always there, okay? No matter what Biden was doing. Now all of a sudden, when it comes to the Afghanistan thing, she's nowhere to be found. She's not even in the room, right? When he's explaining it to the media, which means that she personally wants no part of this. This is why I said that rumor, okay, the wording might not necessarily be true or accurate, but I'm pretty sure I would not be surprised if the situation kind of went down like that, right? If the overall sentiment from Kamala was like, listen, you gonna eat all this one, right? Because, I mean, listen, Biden made Kamala take all the blame for the border. And if I was Kamala, low key, I would make Biden take all the blame for Afghanistan, right? And that's what she's doing. And the thing is, Biden can't just march Kamala out there to take the blame for Afghanistan. I mean, that would look super weak on his part, right? And I think that will really bring up questions about, okay, are you really running the country, right? Or is it Kamala running the country, right? Imagine Biden marches Kamala out there to explain what's happening in Afghanistan. At that point, even if Kamala takes all the blame for it, a lot of people are going to say, okay, so wait, who's the commander-in-chief? Which, in my opinion, is going to look really bad for Biden come 2024, because I think one of the main reasons Biden keeps trying to throw Kamala under the bus is because he wants to basically make it look like she's unqualified, so therefore the Democrat establishment sticks with him come 2024, right? Because the Democrat establishment wanted Kamala, right? Kamala's supposed to be the successor to Biden. I don't think Biden wants to give up office. I think he wants to stay. I think he wants to run again. So he's incentivized to try to make Kamala look as bad as possible. But in this situation right here, he really can't afford to just roll Kamala out there, because, again, if you do that, even if she takes all the blame for it, right, people gonna have serious questions about, okay, so Kamala's president, right? So again, it was a no-win situation for them. And I find this situation to be fascinating and hilarious, okay? Quote, for 2 decades, our courageous service members have put their lives on the line in Afghanistan. We will always be grateful and proud, she tweeted Monday. Ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan is the right decision. On Tuesday, Harris tweeted, we went to Afghanistan almost 20 years ago. Now our mission is to get our people, our allies, and vulnerable Afghans to safety outside of the country. In stark contrast from April 25th, when Harris told CNN State of the Union that she was the last person with Biden when he made the call to withdraw U.S. forces from Afghanistan and wholeheartedly endorsed the move. Quote, this president who has an extraordinary amount of courage, Harris told host Dana Bash at the time, he is someone who I have seen over and over make decisions based on what he truly believes, based on his years of doing his work and studying these issues, what he truly believes is the right thing to do. On Thursday, Harris gave her first on-camera remarks in 7 days, delivering a taped 3-minute address to the National Association of Black Journalists virtual convention. She praised their work covering the COVID-19 pandemic as well as what she called anti-voter bills that have been introduced at state legislators across our country, but made no mention of Afghanistan. Of course she didn't. On Friday, Harris is scheduled to depart on her second overseas trip, this time to Singapore and Vietnam. She's expected to face close questioning about what the calamity in Afghanistan means for U.S. policy towards China. Okay, so basically, we're going to see sooner than later what Kamala has to say about Afghanistan, okay? Because she's going to be in Asia, and the whole point of her being there is to basically, again, like I said before, ensure our Asian partners that, hey, we're going to be here for you in the face of Chinese aggression in the South China Sea, right? That's what she's there for. Now, like I said, again, I don't think that Kamala is the best person to send for something like that, okay? But hey, it is what it is, right? She's trying to get a W somewhere and distance herself from Afghanistan as much as possible, okay? That's what she's trying to do. But the American people obviously are seeing that Kamala Harris is also a part of the problem, right? She cannot really distance herself from this because she did take ownership of it at first when they first made this decision, okay? And it does not sound like that she questioned that decision or that she had issues with that decision. But I mean, hey, maybe she did. I mean, obviously she can't come out publicly and say it, but she really tried to put confidence in the American people in regards to what Biden was doing, right? So it's just not a good look, okay? It's not a good look. And even though she's running away from it, she still has to own it. Still got to own it. And guys, I mean, think about this, right? When Trump was in office, if something like this happened, do you think Trump would be running away? Do you think that Trump would be reading scripts and walking out of the press conference faster than people trying to evacuate Afghanistan? No. Trump would just straight up answer questions and he'll take the heat. That's one thing I really appreciate about Trump, right? That Trump was willing to take questions off the cuff, even if he didn't answer it right or if he said the wrong thing, he still did it, okay? He just gave you his thoughts. With these two guys, though, I mean, these two people, right? Don't want to misgender Kamala. With these two people, you don't get any of that, right? You get no transparency, and when you need them to answer questions the most, they're taking trips to Asia and hiding in a bunker, right? So much for the most transparent administration in history. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.